So the idea of composite figures is actually very, very simple. A composite figure is just you combining one shape with another shape, or maybe you have three shapes that are combined together, but you're just combining different shapes together to form kind of like what I would call a Frankenstein shape. So for example, let's say that we have a rectangle that is then being combined with a triangle. So notice I'm going to do the rectangle a different color than the triangle because I want to show you that even though they are the same shape combined together, it's two different shapes that you have here. And let's go ahead and say that the bottom measurement down here is the bottom measurement down here is going to be, we'll say 10 inches, and that we have this measurement here is 3 inches, and then the measurement from the top of the triangle down to the base of the triangle, we'll say, is also 3 inches. So I want to be able to find the area of the entire figure. So all you have to do is separate this into its two different shapes. So we have a rectangle, and remember, a rectangle is found by multiplying the length times the width. So in this case, the length is going to be 10 and the width is going to be 3. So we can replace the length with 10 and the width with a 3. We would multiply 10 times 3, and that would give us 30. But then we also have this triangle here. So now it says that the triangle has a height of 3, and a base is not written here, but because this is 10, that means right across from it is also going to be a 10. They are equal in measurement. So the base of the triangle is also 10. Now remember, the formula for your triangle's area is to take half of whatever your base times height is going to be. So in this case, we're going to be doing half of 10 times 3. Well, 10 times 3 is 30, and half of 30 is 15. So now what to do with these two different measurements? We're going to add them together. We combine the area of the rectangle with the area of the triangle to find the area of the entire shape, which is 45, and in this case, inches squared. So again, the best thing you can do is to take the shape and split it up into its different parts and then find the areas separately. So I'll go ahead and give you a moment to copy this down, or you can even pause the video for a moment and finish copying this down before I move on to the next shape. Okay, so here's our next shape. We have what kind of looks like an ice cream cone. So if we separate this out, you should notice that you have a triangle that's formed right here. And then you also have a semicircle that's formed here. So you want to go ahead and redraw those shapes. So the first thing I'm going to do is focus on the information for the triangle. So for the triangle, I know that it happens to have a height that is 9 meters, and then it has a base that is 8 meters. So remember, for a triangle, you're just going to take half of the base times the height. So I'm going to do half of 8 times 9. So half of 8 times 9 is going to wind up coming out to 36, right? Because 8 times 9 is 72. Half of 72 is going to be 36. Then I have to do the same thing for my semicircle here. So we have a semicircle. Now refer back to your notes from the warm-up. With the semicircle, remember, if this whole thing is 8, then that means half of it is 4, right? We have 4 on this side and 4 on this side. We need to take the radius, square it, and multiply it by pi. That's our area for a circle, but then we have to take half of that for the semicircle. So that means we're going to do half of 4 to the second power, because the radius is 4, and multiply that by 3.14. And that's going to give us 25.12, right? Because 4 to the second power is 16. Half of 16 is 8, and 8 times 3.14 is 25.12. And don't forget, once you have found the area of both figures, you're then going to go ahead and add them together. So 36 plus 25.12 is going to give you 61.12, and that's meters squared. Go ahead and pause the video if you need to so that you can get this information copied down. Okay, let's go ahead and do one more example. So we have this figure, and it looks like we've got a rectangle and another semicircle. So again, we're going to go ahead and identify that we've got a rectangle that's located right here. I'm sorry, that's very sloppy looking. And then that we've got the semicircle that is located here. Okay, so if we want to draw the rectangle, so the rectangle, again, we're focusing on the length and multiplying it by the width. The length in this case happens to be 12, and the width happens to be 6. So we're going to just do 12 times 6, which is going to wind up giving us 72. Then we're going to focus on the semicircle, which kind of looks like a D. So the semicircle, if we know that this part is 6, then that means this is also 6, but that's the diameter. Remember, we don't want the diameter, we want the radius. So that would make 3 and 3. So 3 for the radius, because the diameter is going to be 6. Now it's a semicircle, so we're going to take half of the radius, sorry, that should be an R, half of the radius to the second power, and then multiplying it by pi. So we're going to do half of 3 to the second power and multiply that by pi. So when we multiply, we know that this is going to be 9. 9 times 3.14, and then multiply that by half, or take half, and we're going to get 14.13. 14.13. Okay? And then at the very end, always, 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 we need to add those components together. That's going to give us 86.13. We're talking about yards. And again, it's area, so it is squared. Okay, what you guys are going to be doing now is you are going to practice doing a few composite figure problems. Make sure you take your time and remember, triangles are half. Semicircles, don't forget to take the half. And please don't confuse a radius and a diameter measurement. It's very important that you remember the difference between those two. Good luck. Do the best you can. Try and get a high score of at least an 80 or higher. If you don't get an 80 or higher, try it again. It's unlimited.